Boys and girls, a big Carnage House interview, another one coming down the pipe, which I'm excited for. Today I've got Annie Crawford with me to talk about the Can2 Foundation, among other things. How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Again, my apologies, broadcasting out of the kitchen. I'm not in Sydney, I've escaped, and the kitchen's the only place with light in the house. But the Can2 Foundation, you can explain it better than me, but it's fundamentally a health-based charity, which would have been really affected, I think, by the virus and the lockdown. Why don't you explain kind of briefly what the charity does, how it works, and how you've been dealing with the self-quarantine?
Okay, so basically what Can2 is, it's all about moving beyond your comfort zone into two areas of your life. And the first one of those is, as you say, the health and fitness. So we get people to achieve goals they never imagined they could achieve. And that could be running a marathon, a 7K run, an ocean swim, climbing to Everest Base Camp, doing, as I said, an ocean swim. That could be a 1K right through to a 10K ocean swim. We really want people to, as I said, achieve goals they never thought they could achieve. And at the same time, they're also giving back to the community through fundraising for Can2. So, and Can2 funds young Australian researchers in the early stages of their career. Now, in a normal program situation, we train people twice a week. They come along together. It's very much about our values, which is to inspire, motivate, support, and empower people. And we're doing that with a group and a professional coach and team captains and mentors. They come twice a week, and then we also give them a day-by-day training guide. And then a lot of those people become quite friendly with each other, and they will go and do extra training together apart from those the 2 days a week. But really, it is really about pushing the boundaries. It's about thinking, oh my God, I've always been terrified of ocean swimming. Now is my opportunity to do that. Maybe start with a 1K and then go all the way through to a 10K.
How are you finding the virus or the self-quarantine, or what's the charity doing, and what are you doing in particular to kind of cope with it?
Okay, so I'm the founder of Can2. I'm no longer working in the day-to-day of the operational side, but I totally know what's going on, obviously. I just want to make that clear because it's the team that's done all of this. What they've been amazing. They've adapted really, really quickly, like a lot of people have had to. We decided before the government told us to, that we should shut down our face-to-face training programs because we really believed that we needed to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, and we needed to be role models and to show the community how they needed to behave. So while it was difficult because we had people training for the London Marathon, a 5K ocean swim, a 2K ocean swim, lots of half marathon programs all over Sydney and regional New South Wales and in Brisbane, we believed that we had to do the right thing. If we're a health and fitness program, we need to to show the way. We knew that would mean that our fundraising would go down, but we felt that we had to do that. So the team adapted really fast, and they've just come up with a 4-week online training program to start everybody off, which they can do. I just saw an email as we were coming to air that they want us to do a sort of Can2 choir, and we're all going to be singing from home. Really? Can2 outfits. So really, we're about engagement, and we want to make sure people are supported.
Well, that's
and awesome. We know that. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to ask, is the kind of online training course, is that like a home training one, or do you go outside, or how are people doing that?
You're going to go, so it's both. You're going to go outside. So there's, you can, we sent through videos of how to do the core strength and things like that. Penny, our head coach, created a whole lot of those. And so you can copy them and you'll do them inside, but then you'll also do things outside. So you'll go for a walk with one other person potentially, or a run, but there's a day-by-day, every single day. It includes other things that we don't normally include, like mindfulness, and it's just very creative to be all-encompassing. We know a lot of our Can2ers do Can2 for mental health reasons as well, because it ticks a lot of boxes. It's got the social engagement, it's very nurturing and supportive, it's very positive, and it's also, it's got the physical side, and it's giving back. And so altruism is good for people's mental health as well. So we need to make sure we're combining all of those three things virtually, and our team's been amazing.
Yeah, well, it seems like I mean, even a lot of the local parks and stuff are closed and the gyms are closed. So, I mean,
Yeah.
people might need some help, like trying to find out
Yes.
what they can actually do, because the normal exercise routines are super disrupted, right?
Yeah, totally disrupted. So we're also encouraging everybody to put on Facebook their running activities or their training activities, so that we can all see each other and be accountable to each other. But we're also suggesting people put other things up. Like, I've got a vegetable garden. And I've never posted before, but I'm posting my harvest and my 4 eggs. And
What do you grow?
then we had a wombat, so I posted the wombat. Things like that just keep us engaged and connected.
What do you grow in your vegetable garden?
I've got beans, tomatoes, broad beans, celery, potatoes, sweet potato, lots of herbs, eggplant, shallots, cauliflowers, lots of things. Yeah.
Are they good? They come out well? You're a good gardener?
Well, I'm learning to be a really good gardener. Look, we bought this a weekend or 2 years ago in Berry, and it's really satisfying this other part of me. As I've cut back more on Cantu, and I've set up another business, but it's more part-time in coaching, as in business coaching, not physical coaching. So I've got more time now to do those sort of things, and I'm really loving it. Yeah.
Well, you do a lot of things. You're quite an interesting person. I mean, you even got, one of the things I do want to talk about later, you got the Order of Australia medal in like 2013, which is before you even started the charity. But why don't you walk, right? Is that correct?
No, we started Cantu in 2005, but I'm involved in a lot of other not-for-profits
Sorry, I
as
thought
well.
potentially on the website it might have said 2014, but you know what?
Okay. No, you're right. I'll explain that. We were in partnership with Cure Cancer and we didn't become a charity in our own right until 2014.
Right.
So Cantu started 2005, but you're correct. We actually became our own foundation in 2014. But we'd been going for 9 years before that, 10 years. Yeah.
I was about to fire the crack research team in the Carnage House.
No.
So
You haven't made an error.
So what made you start the foundation then?
Okay, so a few things happened in my life. My father died of cancer when he was 51, which was obviously very young. I have always believed in sort of needing to make a difference. I trained as a social worker. I'm not a religious person, so I've got to have some sort of purpose and meaning, and it's never been to do with God or religion. So I always needed that. Then I ran a marathon with a similar program while we were living in America. And also Simon and I were involved in setting up the US affiliate of a biotech company. We had moved, Simon, my husband.
All right. Shout out to Simon.
And what's that?
Shout out to Simon.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Simon. He's amazing. He's totally amazing. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. And so we set up this biotech company together, and it was very successful financially, far more so than we ever imagined it would be. And as I said, I'm a social worker, so that was never a driver for me. So when we moved back to Australia, I decided I'd like to be able to give back in a bigger way. Although at the time I didn't think it was going to be big, but I thought rather than get a paid job, I would set up Cantu. And I knew the benefits of running. I've always, like a lot of people, had sort of anxiety, depression issues, and I know the benefits of physical health for mental health. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could set up this organization? I didn't have any lofty goals. I sort of thought, if we train 25 people to run a marathon and those 25 people raise $50,000 for cancer research, wouldn't that be wonderful? But I did have a strong idea of the culture I wanted to create, one from being a social worker, but also from setting up the US affiliate of the biotech company, and we created a great culture there. And I knew that culture was incredibly important. And I think that's why I was successful, that we struck a chord with people, and the culture of the organization is, to me, the most important thing. And our people are the most important thing, even beyond funding incredible researchers. It's our Cantu community that I value the most.
One of the things I see that was emphasized on the website was talking about how good the researchers individually are that you're funding.
Yeah.
Australian researchers. How do you choose who gets the research funding, and how's it going?
Well, we obviously are not equipped to medically choose, so we have partnered with other organisations. So, for example, Cure Cancer Australia, they were our major partner for the first, and they still are our major partner, but they were our only partner for about the first 10 years. They have a medical review board. So what happens is young Australian researchers apply for grants. And I mean, this is a terribly difficult process for them. They spend about 6 months a year writing a grant application, or 3 months a year writing the grant application. Then they do their work for maybe 6 months, and then they've got to spend 3 months writing a report. Often they only get 1 year. So
Right.
they are chosen by a medical review board, and then we will say, well, we want them to be a CAN2 researcher. So they might be funded by Cure Cancer, and then we'll name them. They're one of ours, and we like to engage with them and meet them. And they come and actually speak to our people while they're training. They stand at the side of a cold, wet night, and they still come out and train. And then interestingly, which is really lovely, and it's the full circle, a lot of them have started to do the program, because they're sort of like, okay, one step. For me, I'm daunted by what you guys are doing. You're daunted by what I'm doing, so I'm going to come and do it too, and that's really lovely. And they're just like everybody else. When they're a participant, they're no longer a researcher. So that's really lovely for them as well. But yes, you're right. These are the issue in Australia, and I don't know that everybody is aware of this. I certainly wasn't. Is that you can't get a grant without a track record, and you can't get a track record without a grant. So when you're a young researcher, you've got this real catch-22. Yeah. So this we fill that niche, and they're the main people we fund, are these brilliant young researchers. They will then go on to get hopefully more government funding or partner funding, or we might come back and partner with them again. And we have had some people that continue to we continue to partner with if they're doing a new project. And it's sort of really lovely, because research, like, as you know, takes a long time for things often to come to fruition. But it's sort of, partly in honour of my dad, partly not. The first researcher we funded was a bowel cancer researcher, and that's what he died of. With he only had no symptoms. He was dead within 2 months of diagnosis. But and then my brother married a beautiful Elise, and she also died at 49 of bowel cancer, and had 3 girls, my nieces, and as had her mother 29 years before. Now, Megan, the researcher that we first funded, has gone on to create a genetic test for an understanding of the genetic links to bowel cancer. So that's just a really lovely story of the power of research. And now my nieces and none of our family need to die of bowel cancer.
Yeah, that's great. That's what I was going to ask, is what type of have you been able to see any developments through, like, the researchers? Now, obviously,
so that's one of the developments. Yeah, and there's been some really great stuff in immunology. So with melanoma.
Right.
And with pancreatic, we now have funded some of the people that have gone on to do some of the most important pancreatic research in Australia. And what also happens is that they will then get other grants, and they can use that money then to create a whole lab, and they will be then able to teach and work with other younger researchers, because some of them now, it's 15 years on. So it's a lot of it's very early stage research. So it does take time before it is put into application, but we are seeing that, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is great, because, like, I know for me, a lot of times you hear, like, let's say fundraising for, like, cancer research, but you actually don't know what it means. And it's good to see something like the genetic test, or like, actually kind of hear what the developments can actually mean, because it's hard to make those mental associations sometimes,
Oh, and that's what's really lovely with our CAN2, because as I said, these researchers that our people have actually funded, they come and meet them. They come out to the track and they talk to them, and they then, as I said, often do the program. So we meet them, and we know when, and for them it's really interesting. Often they don't get a chance to explain about the research, and they don't often get a chance to have to be able to talk about it in lay terms either.
Yeah.
And so it's become a really lovely partnership where we know them and they know us. It's not some person way off, if in some lab that you'll never see. And we also arrange lab visits. So a lot of, we will go and visit people in labs. You'll get to go to the Garvin or the Children's Institute, or and that's a wonderful thing for people to be able to do and see a world they never see.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Actually, I didn't realize you guys did that at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic.
And the charity has like an interesting funding model where it's one of the things I like about it is that you deliver something valuable to the people who are donating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it seems like trained over, I think 16,000 people was the number I saw. You've raised like 20 million bucks.
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be
we're 23 now. Yes.
23. So that's big milestones for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Why do you think the charity was so successful?
Well, as I said before, I think it's partly cultural. I think that we really have looked after our people, and they are what is most important to us. But I agree with you, it's also the win-win. It's the fact that you are doing something for yourself, but you're also doing something for others. And some of our people say it is the most selfless and selfish thing they've ever done, because they've got fitter and healthier. They've always wanted to swim an ocean swim, but have always been too scared. But it's okay in Cantu to admit you're scared, even if you're a bloke. And that's what's really nice, because often in, some tri clubs, which, are fantastic, but you've got to already be at a level of confidence and comfort before you can admit that you're scared. Right. Very scared. And we even have what we call our nervous Neds and our nervous Nellies, and it's okay to put your hand up and say, I'm scared shitless. If you can edit at that if you like, but that's what, we'll say. Right. And we have a lot of support for people. They've got mentors and team captains, and, we really sort of handhold figuratively and literally. And then I think people have learnt the power of giving and how wonderful that is. And a lot of people that when they've come to Cantu first have never been involved in fundraising and never thought that they could do that. And so to realise you can is brilliant.
Right. So is it that when the people sign up, do they become like do a fundraising thing for whatever physical?
Yeah, they can fundraise in any way they like. Yeah. So right. they pay a registration fee to join. And then they come along to the sessions, say on a Wednesday night and a Saturday morning, and they're divided into coaching groups. So they've got their own, coach and a team captain and a mentor. And they might have, 20 people in their little group or 15 people, depending on how many people. And then we'll have more coaches. And then, yes, we give them a whole lot of fundraising tools, and they can fundraise any way they like. And, my kids have all done it.
Really?
And my nieces and nephews and everyone. Yeah. Lots of creative ways.
Let's say hypothetically, and it happens to be true that I'm a very unfit guy. Yes. Let's say I came to you and said I wanted to run a 5K race. What would you have me doing?
Well, we don't even do 5. We'd say, come on, you're okay. You don't have to do it tomorrow. You're going to do a 10K, and we'll start out with a 10-week program. And the first time you come, we'll have you jogging around the oval. We'll do some warm up so that your body, like some, burpees and little, butt kicks and things like that.
After the warm up.
And what's that? After the warm up, you're probably exhausted, and then we'll say, come on, you've got it. You can still do this. And that first night, you'll probably run nearly 3K. So, and you'll be shocked, and you'll get a lot of, you'll feel really good about yourself. And then we'll start talking to you later on about the fundraising and what that means. And you'll have, if you're really the back of the pack, you'll have someone running with you the whole way. And then you've got this day-by-day program. So we'll say that was Wednesday night. Now tomorrow you need to go and do some cross training but it's gradual, it builds. It's not all at once. So I think the other thing we teach people is about the negative split. Now, have you heard about the negative split?
No, but sounds dangerous.
Well, no, you see, it's not. That's the good thing. What it is it's teaching people to run slowly enough. Most people that hate running is because they go out like, charging off, especially, I hate to say it, young blokes. They want to show how good they were when they were at school. And unfortunately, they may not be as fit anymore. And so they blow up. They sort of die in the bum when they're out there on a Saturday.
I run the first 100 meters in about 5 seconds, and then I can't slow down after the rest.
That's right. So we'll teach you, you've got to go out slower than you come back. And we'll have, if some gung-ho guys, we'll say to them, nah, like the coach, Matt might say, no, Dougal, you're not going ahead of me. Like, you've got to stay back. We'll force you back until you start to realize that's what you need to do. And then you can run it, you can keep running, and that's how you can do a marathon. You just do it slow and steady. I mean, I always say to people, give me some, if they say, what are some tips? I'll say, okay, if they're running too fast, what I want you to do is go slower. And then, well, okay, what's another tip? Go slower again. What's another tip? Go slower again, until you learn about breathing and things like that. And you'll realize that if you want to run forever, you have to take it slowly.
Right.
And it's time on feet, and it's mental, and it's all of those things.
One of the things that I heard, this is just an obscure fact of the day for the audience, is humans actually can run down any animal over a long distance. So if you get a really fit person and they chase a cheetah for like a week, the cheetah will tire out before the human does.
Well, they've learned about negative splitting. So yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, that you can basically run as far as you want. You just got to learn how to go slowly enough and to pace yourself.
What about you? Sorry, I hate to cut you off. That's a bad interview technique.
No. I talk too much.
What about your so you've done running. Is that your favorite way of exercise, or did you do other ones too?
Running originally was my passion, but now I love swimming, triathlon, and hiking. So yes, but running initially was my way. Like, it's really good for my mental health. If I was in a funk, I just go out for a run. And I've run my whole sort of life. I've cut back a little bit recently in the last couple of years, but I would, often doing, 50 Ks a week easily, which is not a hell of a lot if you're a long distance runner, but it's a fair distance, 50 or 60 Ks a week, depending on where we are in the training program. Now I do swim more as well. I love that. And more recently, because we did Everest Base Camp and Machu Picchu and Mount Kenya, and we were supposed to be leaving to go to El Camino in May. I'm doing more hiking, and it's different. I mean, it's a different muscle. So I do running and hiking and biking and swimming, my main, and weights. Yeah.
And weights. Big power. When you say we went to Everest Base Camp, who's we? Is that part of the Can2? Is that like a Can2 group?
Yes. So in the last few years, we listened to sort of our community, and they wanted something more. So we call it Can2 Beyond. And so we go overseas often, but not. We're also going to Kakadu. We've been to Larapinta in Northern Territory, and we will go camping for like that trip. We would have gone for 23 days, 19 days camping. Very basic, no showers, no hair washers, incredible scenery, incredible camaraderie. One of the most amazing things I've ever done. And now I'm leading a group every year. So last year I led one, two, one to Larapinta and to Everest Base Camp. Then we did Peru, and then we were doing El Camino this year, and next year Mongolia. So our El Camino has been postponed to next year, and we'll do that, and Mongolia, which will be pretty amazing.
What are you going to do?
And it's got to be remote and difficult.
What are you going to do in Mongolia?
We're going to do bike riding, horse riding, and trekking.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's amazing.
I've been hoping to go to Mongolia. It looks very cool. I used to live in China a bit, and I'd always look at Mongolia and be like, I want to go and shoot some bow and arrows on horses or something.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to be doing. It's one of my bucket list places as well. So I'm sort of really lucky. I'm ticking off all my bucket lists at the same time. But, once again, it's that camaraderie, because nobody's sort of left behind. There's no pressure. We will go at the rate of the slowest person. And it's all about taking in the scenery. It's about enjoying the nature. It's about it being difficult. Like, it's got to be a challenge, because that's what we're about. We're it's allowed to have a level of discomfort, and then this sense of achievement that you get from that level of discomfort. It's wonderful.
Now, I'm pretty happy with that. I got one question now. we've one of the things we've been doing. So I run this channel with my brothers. Is
Yeah.
we've been and we interview a lot of like kickboxers, fighters, and stuff. And one of the things we've been
Yeah.
planning is a kickboxing match between me and my older brother. But
Fantastic.
we're planning it out to do like so we'll each like do fundraising, and whoever wins the money
Oh,
goes
okay.
to charity. Now I think I'm still looking for a charity. I think the Can2 Foundation would be pretty cool, and it might end up.
We do. We'd love it. So we can give you a page on our website. People fundraise for us for a whole lot of different things that have got nothing to do with our programs, and we love that. Like a guy just did one from the Lanai Molokai race, and yeah, the people are doing that all the time. And if you wanted to, seriously, just shoot me an email, and I will put you in contact with the office. No pressure, and they'll set you all up. It's very easy.
All right,
and they'll give you tips and everything. A page.
We have to wait a little bit until the gym, a friend who manages the gym, opens back up. But when it does, we'll be there. I guess the only question is, does it affect the Can2 brand if we start saying disrespectful things to each other and talking trash? Are you guys okay with that?
Well, I think we're fine with it, to be honest. We have pub night once a month. We're very normal. We're our whole sort of philosophy is it's about real people doing real things, and we're not elite athletes, and we live up. No, I'm fine with it. I've got 3. Well, I think they're a bit older than you. How many brothers have you got?
I got 2 brothers, one older, one younger.
I've got 3 boys.
Do you?
They're 32, 20. No, he's 32 in June. 31, 29, and 28, and a grandchild. So I'm very excited. I've got a granddaughter, which is even more exciting than a grandson because
made in the program. Go and see a 3-year-old run a marathon.
Well, it's bad for them. I won't let them do that. You're not supposed to run a marathon you're not supposed to run a half until you're about 16 because you're developing your muscles.
Really?
It's not, and it's actually not great. And you've got their whole life to run a marathon. You really do. And if you look at it, marathoners are better when they're older. I think they've got better mental discipline, to be honest. And also, physically, it's better for you to be a bit older as a marathon runner, for example. Yeah.
All right. Well, beautiful. Well, so if people want to get involved with the Can2 Foundation, where's the best place? It's the website?
Just go to the website. Yeah, sure. Which you've got the details of. And no, I'd love you to do fundraising for us. It'd be fantastic. And yeah, spread the word. And so I can spread this on my Facebook as well when you're ready for it.
Awesome.
And I can copy Emma, who's our marketing person, and she will also put it out there.
Emma's great.
It's great for us too. We always, get people coming to it after they've listened to something and it's or read an article or whatever. So thank you for thinking of us.
We put links in the description. I also saw you guys had a YouTube channel too. So we're gonna
we do.
We're gonna put all those links underneath. Get involved. It's a great charity, and you actually do get a benefit out of it. You maybe can even researchers if you go to their training events. But I think that's it. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time. It's been actually a really fun, interesting chat, and I hope to see you soon.
Well, it's been really nice, especially as we're all isolated, to see a beautiful face, young face. Thanks a lot, Dougal.
I appreciate that. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.